take concern with politician we don't sell Southern Cameroons for upper chambers, Piwek Solomon says. Frundi has left the best legacy for his kids. Even the Muna family tries their best. The worst betrayal of the 21st century. He cannot even be buried in Bamenda. Shame, shame, shame. The founding fathers of the SDF should be crying in their graves. Shame, shame, shame. He betrayed Siga Asagar, Albert Mukon, and others, says Kings.
The comments keep going on. It is indeed a long one. Everybody has something to say in this regard. Another one from Aminkeng Elvis. Frundi is a sellout long time ago. Meanwhile, we Ambazonians continue collecting our guns. Nunu Gomes Damway says, make it go rest or join CPDM for daytime. Make all man know who he be. Pa be get right for say wanna be apprentice. While people continue to post information about this man, he is not a good man. This party vex me bad. He has misled the Anglophone people for a very long time. Samar Mostefa says, the party has frustrated us. I regret the numerous times I voted for it. Only few officials like Ninchu of Douala are genuine militants. Others are there to suck nectar from the CPDM party. Freedom for New Density says. This pa sold Ambazonia Federal Republic publicly to make a life. It was finished for him as we took sticks and stones and to kick La Republic du Cameroon out of former British Southern Cameroons, also known as Ambazonia Federal Republic. Thank God he relocated to where he really belongs. If not, we could have finished with him before moving ahead. All his property shall be confiscated and sold, and funds dropped into the Ambazonian Federal Republic national coffers. Kinga Noel Pack says.
There is a critical question. Can Frundi survive? In other developments, Ni John Frundi is on a hot seat as 27 party dons meet in Water and via video conference accused him of high-handedness on the party, unexplained expenditures, and above all, a call for an extraordinary Congress to replace the chairman and his executives. The SDF is finished completely or completely finished. Following the persistent calls from the various party structures expressing a firm desire to participate in the upcoming May 20th celebration, as well as our position to work tirelessly for a better Cameroon, I hereby inform all party structures to take part on the 20th May, says the National Founding President of the SDF. By authorizing the militants of his party to take part in the parade of the 50th celebration of this national unity, meanwhile, party structures had declined and when.
When analyzing stories like this, it is important to make some contrasts. Julius Malema, leader of the leading opposition party in South Africa, last May 25, 2022, staged a crowd-pulling protest march forcing the French embassy in Pretoria to tell the French President Emmanuel Macron and his government to stop the genocide in southern Cameroon. Malema's move is laudable for Ambazonians that a South African opposition leader will order the genocidal French government to leave southern Cameroon, while paradoxically, the hitherto principal opposition party in La Republique du Cameroon, headed by an Ambazonian, Ni John Frundi, opposes Ambazonia and embraces the genocidal oppressor. And time and clear indications that Frundi shall be remembered as one who betrayed his people like Judas Iscariot, even as news reports say the SDF is being thrown out of its national secretariat in Yaoundé for non-payment of rents.
I am sure you must have watched this video. I think Nijan Frundi is a good dancer. Anyways, let's watch. This is a breaking news, a presidential appointment. Mindful of the proclamation of the restoration of our independence of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, formerly British Southern Cameroons, on October 1st, 2017, by a Constituent Assembly of Ambazonians, mindful of the restoration of the government of the Southern Cameroons as the interim government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, formerly Government of Southern Cameroons, on October 1st, 2017, by a Constituent Assembly of Ambazonians, mindful of the interim constitution of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia of 12th of June 2018, and by the powers conferred on me, I hereby appoint Joseph Akanche, aka Nijo, as Secretary of State in charge of Finance and Resource Mobilization. Well, that appointment is definitely not coming from me. It's coming from the President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako. Well, just briefly, we have Nijo here. Of course, he's one of our very own analysts here. We are so elated by this appointment. What do you think?
The new appointment is, I think it's something he's really good at, calling all the figures and all. This is just finance added to resource mobilization, and I already believe he's going to do so great.
All right, let's hear what Nijo has to say. Congratulations, Nijo. We are super proud of you.
Thank you, Onye, and thank you, Ladies Star Smart, and your technical team, and greetings to Ambazonians who are tuning to our platform ABC this evening, and my traditional 21 gun salute to our ARF on home front. Yeah, a pleasant surprise, but many Ambazonians describe my situation as well deserved. So all I can do is appreciate them and say that I am privileged to be given the opportunity to serve my country. I have been doing that in the past since 2017 in different roles, and this time the reward for good work is more work. So yeah, apart from just doing resource mobilization now, another department has been created and moved from the presidency now on our own, and then we look after the finances as well. So we're working even closer with the National Treasury. Again, it's a great opportunity for me, and I want to thank all the Ambazonians. This is the result of teamwork. Any of the achievements that we've done, we had recorded from January to date, or if you step back to last year or year before last with the Department of Resource Mobilization, I couldn't have done that all by myself. Of course, my combi is my nearest support agent, but then all the other representatives of the Resource Mobilization Department that we now are, and of course, ABC is one of my pillar stones of this resource mobilization, because we would not get across to Ambazonians without ABC. And so it is teamwork. We're part of the same team, and you can only succeed in roles like this if you are a team player. So my appreciations, I'm also sharing this pleasant news with ABC, and thank you for getting me to come and say thank you to Ambazonians, and for all those who send me messages. Apologies if I can't get to you on a personal note, but yes, I've got your messages, and all I'm doing is appealing that you continue to give me the support that this movement deserves. We got to a point where we have to do our last push. You know, when a woman is laboring, you get to the stage, you always hear the midwife saying, push, push, push. We are at that stage. Ambazonians, we're history makers. We've got to a point where we got to get this done before September. September is our deadline. So I'm looking forward to this challenge. Thank you very much.
So, Nija, just one more question before you go. Evidently, you're good with numbers. You're good with accounts, detailing, and the rest of it. So we do not think that you would have any challenge as to these jobs. So what is that one thing that would set you apart from probably other SOS? Like, what is that one thing that would set you apart in this interim government, which you've gotten your latest appointment from?
Right. Everyone, as I said, they play different roles. If you're looking at all the other secretaries of states, you know, foreign affairs was just on your platform a couple of days back, explaining what they did. Before that, you were highlighting the work of HSS, and before that, of course, you've got the women's services that you have regular Horizon regularly. You have there are lots of other departments doing all the teamwork that I've said to push this the quest for our independence forward. What sets me apart from the other ones is that I have to keep appealing. I have to keep working to be in what do you call it, face to face, or to keep asking Ambazonians, appealing for Ambazonians to support. Because we need the finances, we need the funds to move this struggle forward, or this movement forward. And you can only do that when you keep telling people what they have done. If people have donated the money, they want to see you how that money is being spent, and before you spend it, they'll probably want to know how much during a fund drive has been, how much has been achieved, and if how much has been raised, you let them know that. And if it's short of a project, then a good Samaritan can come up and say, okay, we need 5,000, we've only got 4,900. Can I make this up to $5,000? That's one of the reasons that each time we have a fund drive, I want Ambazonians to go home with a final figure in their minds, knowing that this is how much they've raised. And one of the reasons is, if we have a target amount and we are running short, a benevolent Ambazonians, there are lots of Ambazonians with very deep pockets, and they have been showing that day in, day out in this movement. They might want to say, we needed $15,000, we've only got 13,500, we're short of 1,500. I can top that up. We had that during the just ended National Fund Drive, national of the Award 22, when we got stuck at 444,000, and I made an appeal to Ambazania. I said, look, let us change one of these fours into a 5 or a 6 or a 7. We cannot be reporting 444 to Ambazonian. And a benevolent Ambazonian came up and topped it up, and that's why we raised 445,000 and $3 in the night. So some voters at the end of fund drive is very important, and that, I think, that is one of the things that the finance department, or my department, stands out. We want to be accountable to Ambazonians as much as possible. We don't want to create any room for doubt. There's been a lot of accounting or misappropriation of public funds, which we want to address. So, and one of the reasons this commander-in-chief is splitting the resource mobilization from national treasury and of course the economy is to make sure that all these streams all get together and come out with a more accountable figures at the end of every event. And I think this is what we're looking to do. Regarding the differences between our departments, it's, as you say, we need money for this movement to progress. We're dealing with the money. We're appealing for money. It comes, we account for it. That's the difference we have with, for instance, Department of Self-Defense or Department of Foreign Affairs or Community Mobilization and the rest of it. So we account for the funds that have been raised and make sure every Ambazonian knows where that money has gone and what it has achieved.
All right. So, Nijo, I will let you go, but then I just want to find out. Do you think that your appointment is strategic? I mean, we are about to enter the drafting season properly. So do you think that, of course, you're good with figures. I mean, you're calling the amount and they are all accurate. So do you think that your appointment is strategic because of the season that we are coming into? Or do you think that is your competence or probably your integrity that got you to this point?
I would rather someone else looks into that. It's a kind of a personal tribute, if I would say that. But I've been in this role for the past 3 years, and of course working very closely with Irene. All we've done is streamline the responsibilities. I don't think the role has changed much. If anything, there's just addition of the fact that we have to be more accountable to the finances than just resourcing without accounting. So now the duties have been, the responsibilities have been added, and of course I would not be by myself. When I was a director, there was no assistant. I mean, a formal assistant. I had so many people working with, but I don't have a formal assistant as in under Secretary of State or under Deputy Director at the time. Now I would expect the CIC and VP to put their heads together, and the Chief of Staff, and get a team around, give somebody under Secretary of State to support me. And of course, one of the plans is we move to all the counties and make sure that we have representatives in all our 13 counties on this finance and resource mobilization. Because without finance and resource mobilization, this movement will struggle. We all know that, and we need to get over the line before September. I think that is the target deadline we have. We've only got July and August to play with. By September, we should be taking a rest, because this is the real war. This is the time that we need to let La Republique know to touch the beehive. And if Ambazonians can listen to me, please get yourselves ready for your various county drafts coming up soon. We will be announcing that shortly. So, Lady Onye, I'm sorry if I'm giving you an incomplete answer. Regarding competence, I cannot talk about competence. I can talk about the experience I've had. But for competence, I think my boss, the VP, DCAV, Chief of Staff, yourself, you're in a better position and Ambazonians to check and see if from my past records I'm competent for this position. But I can assure you I'm going to give it my best.
We really do appreciate your time here, and we also anticipate more efforts and work from you in regards to your new appointment in the interim government. Thank you so much for your time here.
All right, so is the drafting season? Let's bring you this editorial.
The number one most important thing for every Ambazonian to do right now is to draft. Draft and draft and draft. People of Ambazonia, draft.
Why the war draft is a must now. Fellow Ambazonians, after 5 years of relentlessly fighting for the liberation of our homeland from the genocidal occupation of French Cameroon, it's very important that we remember why we are fighting and why it's so absolutely necessary that we continue to fund the struggle by joining the war draft and making even greater sacrifices than before. When the United Nations General Assembly in Resolution 1608-XV of April 21, 1961, granted independence to the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, they did not expect that 61 years after, this territory will be forcefully annexed and colonized by a belligerent neighbor. It must be noted here that the territory of the Southern Cameroons had already attained self-government as early as 1954, a status we enjoyed up to 1972, when the state of West Cameroon, Southern Cameroons, was illegally annexed, overrun and occupied by French Cameroon. And because the Southern Cameroons within secure internationally recognized boundaries, she had a functional police force under the direct command of the Prime Minister and head of government, including a mobile paramilitary wing that played the role of a territorial self-defense force. It was this vibrant territorial force that was illegally and surreptitiously disbanded by the Yaoundé regime in the mid-60s, when our nationalist leader and head of government of the Southern Cameroons, Bobe Augustin Ngom-Dua, was overthrown by the creeping annexationist regime of Amadou Ahidjo. So as we enter another patriotic war draft and fundraiser for our violent restoration forces, we must remember that just as we restored Dr. Ndele's government on October 1st, 2017, we are also restoring our territorial self-defense force, now dubbed the Ambazonian Restoration Forces, ARF. Charged with not only the defense of our country and our nation, but also with driving out for once the occupation forces of genocidal Cameroon. Taking part in the war draft for our Ambazonian Restoration Forces is therefore a great patriotic duty that we must all embrace. As we speak, the country of Ukraine is under attack, with parts of her territory occupied by the Russians. We have seen how the Ukrainians have risen like one man to defend their territory, instituting a war draft that has prohibited men from the ages of 18 to 60 years of age from leaving the country. Not only are they not allowed to leave the country, but they're also compelled to take an active part in the defense of their country against the occupying forces of Russia. This is the same patriotic fervor that we expect from all Ambazonians now in fulfilling our sacred duty of defending and freeing the motherland from the genocidal grip of Cameroon's occupation forces. Thousands of our young men and women have risen since 2017, picking up arms and fighting the occupation forces to the death. We've lost thousands with many more injured, while thousands more are in the bushes fighting day and night to drive out the occupiers. It's therefore imperative that those of us, especially those in the diaspora, that are not confronting the enemy on the ground play our part and fulfill a sacred duty of drafting, raising the funds, and providing the logistics that our restoration forces need to resist the occupiers. Fellow Ambazonians, joining the draft and contributing generously is not a matter of choice for any Ambazonia, but a sacred duty to oneself, family, and the nation. They say sacrifice makes gods of men, makes us sacred, so let us do our duty now. Our President, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako, and the Resource Mobilization Department will be visiting each and every county soon for another round of the draft. Based on the current geopolitical atmosphere, this is a time for us to empower our restoration fighters on the ground to achieve some of our key strategic and military goals, to once more prove to the world that we are ready to not only reclaim but to defend our country after liberation from any future aggression. By building a formidable, responsible, and credible self-defense force, Ambazonians will be proving to the world that we are a responsible state and ready to play a constructive role in the Gulf of Guinea. The rest of the world is watching and waiting to see how capable Ambazonians are in terms of establishing themselves as Africa's newest state. We must therefore make even greater sacrifices in our efforts to upgrade our valiant restoration forces as they lay their lives on the line to liberate Ambazonia. As a footnote, we must remember that it costs between $3,000 to $5,000 to properly equip each restoration fighter to effectively engage the enemy. So as we look up to our boys on the ground, expecting results from them, we must first ask ourselves how far we've gone to empower them. We must first ask ourselves how much financial sacrifices we have made to provide them the means to fulfill their sacred duties. Fellow Ambazonians, this is the time for us to draft until we drop. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions. Are we still enjoying 3 square meals a day while our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers? Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort while our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the front? Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communications equipment to maximize their efforts? Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics? Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy? On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country? Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical intelligence and other special operations across the national territory? Fellow Ambazonians, as we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not funded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Ambazonia die as a wish, because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting of a great people. Fellow Ambazonians, the war draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and be counted. No great victory was ever achieved than by greater sacrifices. We are enough, so let's draft, and draft until we drop. Our existence as a people depends on that.
In sports, Major League Soccer is set to welcome another world-renowned soccer star after Wales captain Gareth Bale agreed to a 1-year deal with Los Angeles FC, the club confirmed. The 32-year-old joins following the end of a glittering spell with Real Madrid this summer. He will not sign as a designated player, and subsequently his salary will count towards the cap of Los Angeles FC. Bale confirmed the move on social media on Saturday, posting a video of himself donning an LAFC jersey and signaling his trademark hat celebration.
In his words, he says, "See you soon, Los Angeles." The post on Twitter and Instagram added, Bale signed for Madrid for a then world record fee in 2013, winning 5 Champions Leagues, 3 La Liga titles, and 1 Copa del Rey as he debuted in a feared attacking trident alongside Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema. It was the winger's performances at English club Tottenham Hotspur that had caught the eyes of Los Blancos.
Gab Ellison expanded on this story.
Latest world sports. Football. The former Real Madrid star Gareth Bale to join Los Angeles FC on a 1-year deal. Major League Soccer is set to welcome another world-renowned soccer star after Wales captain Gareth Bale agreed to a one-year deal with Los Angeles FC, the club confirmed. The 32-year-old joins following the end of a glittering spell with Real Madrid this summer. He will not sign as a designated player, and subsequently his salary will count towards the cap of Los Angeles FC. Bale confirmed the move on social media on Saturday, posting a video of himself donning an LAFC jersey and signaling his trademark heart celebration. "See you soon, Los Angeles," the post on Twitter and Instagram added. Bale signed for Madrid for a then world record fee in 2013, winning 5 Champions Leagues, 3 La Liga titles, and 1 Copa del Rey as he dovetailed in a feared attacking trident alongside Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema. It was the winger's performance at English club Tottenham Hotspur that had caught the eye of Los Blancos, with Bale crowned the Premier League's Player of the Season in 2013 and twice winning the PFA Players Player of the Year award while in North London. The 6-time winner of the Welsh Footballer of the Year award arrives in LA, having helped guide his country to their first FIFA World Cup finals in 64 years earlier this month. Bale's deflected free kick secured a 1-0 victory over Ukraine in the delayed qualifiers, stamping Wales' ticket to Qatar in November. Bale's arrival marks the second high-profile signing of the summer by LAFC after veteran Italian defender Giorgio Chiellini confirmed his move to the franchise earlier this month. Both Bale and Chiellini will join officially on July 7th when the secondary transfer window opens, and could make their debut the following day when LAFC face city rivals LA Galaxy. The pair's arrival continues the trend of some of the game's biggest names joining the MLS in the twilight years of their careers. Cricket. England vs New Zealand. Oli Pope and Joe Root put hosts on course for 3-0 series win. England needs 113 runs with 8 wickets in hand to complete another superb final day victory against New Zealand in the 3rd test at Headingley. Set 296 to win, England hurried along once again to reach 183-2 on day 4. Oli Pope made 81 not out and Joe Root an unbeaten 55, putting on 132 after Alex Lees was run out for 9 and Zach Crowley caught for a frantic 25. After chasing 277 in the first test and breathlessly pursuing 299 to win the second, victory in Leeds will give England 3-0 series clean sweep over the World Test champions. They would have hoped to earn themselves a smaller target when New Zealand resumed on 168, 5-137 ahead, but were thwarted by Tom Blundell's 88 not out. Blundell, who overturned an LBW decision on 52 and was dropped on 67, combined with Daryl Mitchell yet again for their 4th century stand of the series. Mitchell fell LBW for 56 to the impressive Matthew Potts 50 minutes into the afternoon session before Jack Leach took the last 4 wickets to claim 566 and his first 10-wicket match haul in tests. If England pull off the win, they will become the first team to chase 250 3 times in a row. Gab Ellison reporting for Undaunted.
And with that sports report, we have come to the end of Undaunted tonight. But before we go, here is a recap of our major stories.
World leaders are discussing the response to the war at the G7 in Germany. Charles tells Commonwealth leaders that dropping the Queen is for each to decide. Prince of Wales says at summit, any move by members to become a republic can be without rancor. Nigerian singer Tems wins a BET award where star slam new U.S. abortion ruling. Intertribal war erupts in Akwaya local government area, leading to several villagers massacred. Furundi falling to rise no more. Greed renders the erstwhile dreaded political guru of the 1990s in Cameroon, Ni John Fundi, a shadow of himself. A glimpse of La République du Cameroun junta and the Betty hegemony or chopbook partisan.
Today we gave you the report on the dilapidated roads in Ambazonia even after 60 years of exploitation of the rich natural resources of Ambazonia by the colonialists. Today we also told you and showed you the video of Frundi dancing salsa with his bulu in Lord Goge Owona, which has gone viral on social media, sparking on diverse expressing and provoking anger from the Ambazonian community. And in sports, former Real Madrid star Gareth Bale joins Los Angeles FC. And that was it for tonight's Undaunted, bringing to the news untold stories. On behalf of Michael Anchor Star Smart and the entire Undaunted crew, we say thank you. I am Onyi Opbala.
We'll leave you with ABC Amba TV images. Good night and God bless you.